La fanal Aria, Alice Volat Propiis. She flies with her own wings. Oh, does Kaya sound like he was implying we are? Otto mocked with a smile. I'm sure he hadn't meant it in that way. I'm sorry, old friend, that it has come to this. She was just a sweet girl, Alice dry sobbed. Where's the life in her? Where's my Bella? She was a very sweet, wasn't she? Her blood even more so, Kaya smirked, tinged with a mean edge. Carlyle frowned, momentarily ignoring his family so that he wouldn't be overwhelmed with their emotions and end up having to confront his own. He was already having a difficult time trying to keep his anger and sorrow from overcoming himself. Bella had been the missing piece to their family, and she had become his daughter in every way. He looked to the side of the kings, still surprised to see Charlie standing there quietly next to Sulpicia, holding hands with who he thought was still Aro's wife. Charlie, you don't want this from her. You can't possibly allow them to force themselves on your daughter, he pleaded to Charlie, inwardly wincing at his slip. But Charlie only turned from him in pain and bitterness, allowing Sulpicia to hold his face in her hands and affectionately lean her forehead against his, the both of them ignoring the inconsolable family. I think, to avoid any more pain, that all of you should leave, Otto stated quietly. No more mocking and too solemn. Ad eternam vale, Bella murmured, her eyes still blank and still unmoving from her lifeless pose. She looked like a wilted flower. Carlyle's eyes widened, the only one of his family to understand the near silent words in the dead language of Latin coming from their beloved girl. It's a long time to say goodbye, Bella, Carlyle said gently, coaxing. She said nothing more, and his family was left confused at their exchange. And then he saw a quick flash of longing and bittersweet goodbye in her eyes, and he swallowed the venom that had pooled in his mouth from the emotions he was consumed with. Bella was not the blank slate he and his family thought she was. He only nodded in resignation and melancholy. Aeternam vale, he returned with a yearning and torn look. He forced himself to turn and began to walk out without a backward glance, his family reluctantly following after him. It was better this way. His family need not know that their lost daughter and sister chose to greet them a lasting goodbye. That it was not the Volturi turning them away, but her. They did not need to know that the Volturi hadn't killed Bella's spirit. They didn't need to know that they had, and that the Volturi were the ones to salvage her. They were saints. From Marcus to Otto to Caius, they were saints who'd come to Bella in her time of need, and had saved her. And after the recent meeting and departure of the family that had bereft her of life, she felt reborn again in the presence of her kings, who worshipped her body lovingly, looking willing and fervent at her, and wanting nothing more than her happiness. She stood tall as each king knelt at her feet and devotedly tended to her pleasure, adoration plain on their faces, as well as the soft caresses of gentle lips. Intimate and the exact opposite of the scene before the Cullens. She need only ask them, and they would willingly give her the world. So she sunk deep onto Otto's erect cock, bending over his marble body and letting Caius shift her so he could take her from behind, and enormously took hold of Marcus's penis and wrapped her blood-red lips around it. They pumped in and out of her, and she felt full, loved, and wanted. As the three sped up and she neared her own end, she thought she had finally taken her life back into her own hands, and would never miss cold and lonely beds and screams in the still of the night from nightmares. Instead, she screams of pleasure. Bella, I don't know if you want to see them, but the Cullens are coming for a visit, Aro informed her hesitantly. She froze. I have an idea, Marcus drawled. If we were to continue looking like the cruel rulers as we are known and show them a broken Bella that they left behind and that we picked up and decided to keep, think of the reactions we'll get. No more carefree human, Caius continued. But a lifeless vampire in her stead, Aro purred, coming from behind her and wrapping his arms around her neck. Though if we really want this to work, we'd need you to be submissive, silent, detached, dull. You don't have to if you don't want to, Marcus told her gently, coming closer and lightly brushing the back of his hand against the side of her face. We would understand, Caius gave her a rare smile. We just want to make them pay a little. But if it'll be too much for you, then forget it. We just want you happy. Bella swallowed down venom. No, I think I need this. Even if it's only a little. I want them to at least feel a fraction of the pain I'd suffered when all of them abandoned me. As you wish, Caius murmured, kissing the inside of her wrist. That concludes Acta Sanctorum. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, or evening. Next step, 1,000 pounds of wildfire, before we move on to My Hero Academia.